Thank you so much for sharing that. And I commend you too, because those are some major changes. So, change is a natural process. Change occurs following, for most people, an uncomfortable discrepancy. Change usually, not always, involves a very long period of ambivalence going back and forth. It's very frustrating for people to witness, right? Like, just, can you do it already? Like, I got 16 sessions, I need you to be changed by the end of my treatment here. You know, that's how I feel about it. You know, I gotta make myself feel good. Okay, the other thing is, here, the last bullet point is actually probably the most important. If someone who's thinking about change or undergoing discrepancy talks to someone whom they experience as high empathy and low control, they are more likely to change faster than not talking to anyone or talking to someone who's other than that. So what that means is the way you respond to a human being who's beginning to develop discrepancy and feel them and talk about it shapes the pace at which they'll be able to make a change. It will either speed it up from the natural process, or it will hold it the same, or, believe it or not, it will actually arrest it. Meaning the wrong style of counseling can actually slow the change process down. Would you do the next slide for me? So, I'm sorry you can't see this so well, but here are the styles. Low empathy, low control. My God, hopefully none of you are this. You know, like what? Huh? Low empathy, high control. Okay, this one's kind of worse because you're someone who really doesn't care about you and they're being kind of mean. Here's my natural style, and I'm being completely honest with you. I'm a very empathic person, but I'm a control freak. And I actually think this is a very common counseling style. I don't think I'm unique. And so what I've been working toward over years is a style of counseling that's high empathy, low control. Let me show you a clip, and I want you to decide which box it fits in. And this is not a motivational interviewing clip. This is not. This is almost the antithesis of motivational interviewing. So what you're going to see, well, let me set it up first. What you're going to see is a child welfare, this is a role play. You're going to see a child welfare worker interviewing a woman who's had her 10-year-old son removed from custody. It's a role play. Due to her substance use and her boyfriend's violent behavior in the home. And the 10-year-old is in another home, and the worker's out there trying to make sure that this woman is on a plan. I'm just going to show, it's hard to watch. You're going to watch it.
Individualized approach to learning, guaranteed.
I'm just not strong enough to keep him away.
But what are some of the things that you do have control over, Mrs. Brown? Like the fighting that goes on between you and Jack?
Well, he gets drunk or loaded, and then we fight. But he's trying to cut back.
And so when he's getting drunk or loaded, are you getting drunk and loaded with him?
Sometimes.
So what I'm hearing is that there's a number of things that we need to resolve, or at least take a look at. The violence in your home, the drinking and using, how that affects your son in a negative way. And maybe we need to look at some of the things that you can do in order to provide a safe environment for him. It's your job to protect him from potential harm.
What do you think I can do?
Okay, so you don't have any ideas?
No.
Well, I think for one thing, we're going to need to look at, or you're going to need to take a look at, your own drinking and using. You're unable to take charge of your life while you're under the influence.
I don't think I have a problem. I can stop.
And I do believe you've stopped many times. But the problem is you're not able to remain abstinent. You stop, something happens, you begin again, over and over. And what it's caused now is for you to lose your son And until something changes, we won't be bringing Michael back into the home.
I know. What do you want me to do?
Well, I think we need to create a plan. I think we need to look at, agree on a plan, and then you're gonna need to do your part. I can help you, I can support you, but I can't do it for you. You're gonna need to get busy, you're gonna need to do some footwork.
So, no right or wrong. Which box would you put the counselor's style in? I think we have a unanimous low empathy, high control. Right. She's pretty invested in her own plan. And she thinks she holds the answer. She probably has good intention, but as far as I can see, she's in this box here. And not here. So let's take a look actually at the arrow on 2A. So stylistic parts that either increase client motivation or decrease it. And you will notice when you look at the bottom arrow attributes, she has a lot of those. Imposing, some blaming, some labeling, commanding style, lecturing style. I'm the expert, I have the answer, my way or the highway, and your agenda is irrelevant because I know more than you know about what you need to be doing. Okay? So now I'm going to show you a clip of Bill Miller. He's one of the developers of this paradigm. There's two, Stephen Rolnick and Bill Miller. He's a psychologist. He's an addiction specialist. You will see him interviewing a man who was referred to come in mandatorily. This is not a client who wishes to be, who did not call up the phone and say, I would like some psychotherapy. This is a person who's been compelled to come in. And you're going to see what this style looks like from one particular practitioner. And I want you to also think about which of these boxes are being manifested and which of the arrow parts, top or bottom, are you observing, okay? The client's name is John. This was a role play that you just saw, but this is actually footage of an actual client. So this is not a role play that you're about to see.
Here, Dr. Miller is interviewing a relatively nonverbal client who was coerced into counseling. Instead of falling into the question-answer trap, he relies almost exclusively on empathic listening during these first 10 minutes of counseling.
John, you called up and indicated that you'd like to talk to someone here, and so I'd like to know how I might be helpful to you.
Had to come because of problems.
So there's some problems you've been having and someone has made you come here,
Yeah,
and you're not too happy about that.
I just like to take care of my own problems, but
So talking to somebody else about them is hard. That's not something you're used to doing.
no.
And yet someone else has said you need to be here. Tell me a little bit about that.
My wife, she wants to she works and I work and take care of the kids together.
Mm-hmm.
She says she wants to go back to school, study to be a nurse or something. I don't think she needs to.
That seems silly to you.
And we're just doing okay.
You like things the way they are
Yeah.
now, and that feels like a real big change.
Yeah.
There's some things about it in particular that you don't like.
It's just everything's okay.
So why change? Why,
Yeah.
why mess it up? Things are going along okay, and now she wants to get some more school, get some more education, and it's disturbing. It changes things.
She's got the kids, you know. She's got her job.
She already has enough to keep her busy.
I think so, but she don't. So we argue.
But you're happy with the way things are. She's
Yeah.
not quite satisfied with how things are, and she wants something else. She wants to get some education. And that's not okay with you.
She says things will be better. I can, you know, I can see that, I guess, but I don't. She's got plenty to do, you know. Everything's okay. She just keeps on and on about it.
It's really important to her.
I guess. Sometimes I just wish she'd shut up, you know.
And your word may be that things will be worse if she goes back to school, that somehow it won't be as good as it is now.
Yeah, I mean, she would go back to school and, you know, flunk out, or she might go back to school and decide she don't want nothing no more. She don't want no family.
So one thing that might happen that would hurt a lot if she went back to school, she might decide she didn't want to be with you any longer. That's a worry. And she's really important to you.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's not her getting the education that troubles you. It's how that may affect your relationship.
Yeah, but so, you know, she's smart enough, you know.
Yeah, doesn't need any more. Yeah.
Sometimes she's too smart.
Already. Yeah. What other kinds of troubles are there? It sounds like that's one piece of it. What else is happening?
She just goes on and on about it, you know. I try to eat and she talks about it. Try to sleep and she talks about it. I come home from work and she talks about it. I'm just like, oh man.
So it's like nagging. It's just constantly there.
It seems to be. I mean,
And you get real angry about that.
yeah. She just don't know when to stop.
Even though you're feeling angry about it, she just keeps pushing. She keeps.
Yeah, I tell her enough.
But still, she keeps talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breathe. What did you see? It doesn't matter whether you liked it or disliked it. Both are equally relevant to this conversation. Yes?
He really reads his body language well and kind of